Brenda Miller. It's been a difficult year. In April, I was sentenced to jail for causing a car accident. Not only did God's face shine throughout that experience, but I sensed His careful planning behind the people I met and the things I experienced there. Less than 2 months after getting out of jail, my mother's health began a sharp decline. She died in October. After her service, I was going through some of my papers when I came across an issue in the Discipleship Journal from July of 2006. I opened it and my eyes fell upon the words, "Though my father and mother forsake me, the Lord will receive me." That's from Psalm 27:10. That was the first verse I read following her memorial service. On that same page was also an illustration of a child's hand holding the hand of God. I have that picture on my wall. This year, we kids got together after Christmas. So I spent much of Christmas Day listening to Christmas music. While going through things I got when we divided Mom's property. It was not an entirely happy day. At one point, I saw her small silver-colored cardboard box containing 300 Bible verse promises on little red or white cards. I decided to pull one out as a promise for that day. I pulled up a bunch of them, then picked the first red card from the back of them. Red for Christmas, you know. Then I looked down and read, "As one whom his mother comforteth, so will I comfort you." That's Isaiah 66:13. Those are just a couple examples of how God has been present this year. Sometimes His presence was indirect, through cards and prayers and acts of kindness of people, many of them here in Smithville Mennonite Church. But even more so, directly, God has been a light in the dark. May He also shine upon you. God Shines on My Journey with Cancer by Shiney. Although I have reluctantly traveled the path of cancer in 2008, I have felt the light of God shining on me in many ways. There are 8 ways, and they all start with P. First one is in preparation. This spring, when Pastor Todd asked us to share our personal stories of miracles, I felt compelled to tell about all the unusual ways God had worked in our son's life when he battled cancer 10 years ago. As I labored over the lengthy account, I found that I could not leave out a single detail, beginning with God's message on a stranger's t-shirt to "Expect a miracle." That message had opened my eyes to observe God in action, and that He had everything under control. Just days later, I realized that God wanted all these recollections to be fresh in my memory, because He was preparing to reveal to me now that I too had cancer. The second P is peace. As I looked at the ominous tumor on the ultrasound screen, I realized what I was seeing. Yet God filled me with a strange but wonderful sense of peace under the circumstances. For just as He was faithful to our son's needs, He would be faithful to me as well. The third P is provision. God provided me with friends and relatives who had previously gone through breast cancer and who shared their experiences with me. This was so helpful to me in making many decisions about where to go for surgery, what type of surgical procedure to choose, who to select for my medical oncologist. I received excellent medical treatment with the team of individuals to whom God led me. Also, 2 friends of mine from Smithville were diagnosed just before I was. We are all Christians, and we continue to support and encourage each other in many ways. The 4th P is perfect timing. There were indeed moments of uncertainty, confusion, and frustration. However, everything about my surgery and recovery had gone smoothly until pathologists discovered that tissue samples from the biopsy and the surgery did not agree. Retesting at both Worcester Hospital and Cleveland Clinic only brought the same results, that these 2 samples did not agree. I could not proceed with treatment until surgical tissue was finally sent to California for a highly specialized analysis to determine what kind of cancer I had. Now here's the amazing part. The 4-week delay in my treatment allowed Dave to go on the mission trip to Mongolia he had eagerly anticipated for a year. Later, when my doctors both commented that such discrepancy was extremely rare, I understood that God Himself had orchestrated the whole confusion for His purposes, so Dave could go to Mongolia. His timing was perfect. The 5th P is presence. God's comforting presence became especially precious to me. I kept repeating special verses of Scripture when I needed His assurance. At times, when my burden seemed especially heavy, He would speak encouragement to my heart through hymns or Scripture or songs. My Creator knows how much music blesses my soul. The 6th P is protection. Although I did experience some serious side effects from my chemo treatments, and even spent 6 weeks in Worcester Hospital, God spared me from needing to undergo emergency surgery. When chemotherapy threatened to damage my body permanently, my loved ones and doctors helped me to make the right decision to stop the treatments. The 7th P is prayer. And if there's any part of this sermon that I would like to just offer you as application, please listen to the 7th P, prayer. God's love shone on me through the faithful prayers of all my family and friends, both near and far. He provided encouragement through visits, phone calls, and cards, all assuring me that I was being remembered in prayer. I only recently learned of one of my former college roommates who lives in another state, but was not aware of my situation with cancer until Christmas. Yet God kept bringing me to her mind this summer. When she thought of me, she prayed for me. She said, "I didn't know what your need was, but God did." And I would just offer that to you to simply say, throughout your week, you may have people come to mind. You may have those family and friends come to mind. And that way the Lord might be saying, they need your prayers right now. A lot of time during our sharing and prayer time here, during our worship time, we're only scratching the surface of the needs that are out there. And I would just encourage you, as the Spirit prompts you, pray. And finally, the 8th P is promise. Although I am recovering and feeling much better these days, my battle with cancer is not yet over. My treatments continue through pill form right now. Each day I wonder what my future holds. Doctors cannot guarantee that my cancer won't return. However, I do have God's promise that He will be with me and light my path as long as I live. Geneva Smucker.